Look at the Indian subcontinent's river systems. The vast majority flow eastward into the Bay of Bengal, but the Tapi River breaks this rule, running in the opposite direction, carving a path westward toward the Arabian Sea. Its journey begins high in the mountains at Multai. Ancient mythology identifies this water as the daughter of the sun god, a divine force created to cool the intense heat of the earth. That spiritual legacy reached far beyond India. In 1915, King Vajiralongkorn of Thailand was so inspired by the region, he officially renamed one of his country's major rivers the Mae Nam Tapi. For centuries, this was a sacred force. Today, however, that ancient river is colliding with the unyielding physical demands of modern Indian industry. The Tapi River Basin covers 65,000 square kilometers across Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. This basin operates as a highly sensitive mechanism, where every upstream intervention triggers a cascade of physical reactions hundreds of miles downstream. To support a rapidly growing manufacturing base, the state required absolute control over this massive, unpredictable water system. As India modernized, the management of the Tapi River moved away from spiritual reverence toward massive physical engineering. The push to tame the Tapi began in response to its extreme volatility, which reached a catastrophic turning point in the late summer of 1968. During the monsoon, the river completely overwhelmed its banks. The city of Surat was submerged under 10 feet of floodwater for days and resulted in many thousands of tragic casualties. Engineers responded by constructing the Ukai Dam in 1972. It was designed to hold back seasonal surges and generate hydroelectric power for the region. Behind the dam, the waters pooled to create the sprawling Vallabh Sagar Reservoir, establishing a permanent and carefully controlled supply for the population. The Ukai Dam successfully protected downstream cities from disaster, but by interrupting the water's natural flow, it broke the river's ancient rhythm. By the 1990s, Surat grew into a global center for textile manufacturing and diamond polishing, anchored by the massive Hazira industrial belt. This rapid urban growth required truly enormous amounts of fresh water, but rising tides from the Arabian Sea threatened to push saltwater deep into the city's vital and sensitive drinking water supply. To solve this, engineers built the Surat Weir in 1995. This massive concrete causeway spans the river near the city center, blocking incoming seawater while pooling freshwater behind it. But by pooling that water for the city, the weir effectively traps the freshwater supply upstream, leaving only a depleted trickle to reach the downstream delta. The same infrastructure that secured Surat's industrial water supply simultaneously created an invisible ecological choke point, starving the river's mouth. At the river's mouth by the Arabian Sea, the reality of that choke point is visible. The water is stagnant and heavily choked with silt. Academic measurements show dangerously high turbidity levels. With natural flow reduced, the river can no longer flush out industrial runoff from the Hazira belt. This environmental decay has a direct human cost. The Machi, Kahar, and Karwa fishing communities have lived and worked on this delta for over 700 years. This chart shows the decline in freshwater fish yields in the delta. Note the sharp drop-off correlating precisely with the 1995 completion date of the Surat Weir. The combination of freshwater blockage and toxic runoff decimated the populations these communities rely on. This triggered a socio-economic collapse. Traditional fishermen were forced into urban labor migration, while stagnant pools in the riverbed led to a spike in waterborne diseases like malaria. The Delta crisis proves a harsh reality of river engineering. Downstream communities pay a localized price for upstream progress. Zooming out from the Surat Delta, the story of the Tapi maps directly onto a global crisis in river management. A river cannot be treated as a localized resource tap. It is a single, highly sensitive, interconnected organism. To address these systemic failures, frameworks like the India-EU Water Partnership focus on joint basin management. This approach forces planning beyond administrative state borders, combining regional data from across the entire basin into a single survival plan. Modern resilience depends on managing the river as one continuous, living ecosystem, protecting its integrity from the mountain source all the way to the sea.